Hello and welcome to Your Stocks. I'm Nigel D'Souza, and as we speak, the Nifty is staging a bit of a fight back currently, so that's good news. If you just pull up the Nifty, you'll see that in fact it's moved to the high point of the day as well. A few of these PSU banking stocks should be up for you, something like an SBI, Bank of Baroda as well as PNB. All of them are doing quite well, while from the mid-cap space it's doing a relative underperformance, though there are a few winners in today's trading session. Pull up SKS Micro, that stock in fact has spiked up. We have OBC as well, that's doing quite well as Union Bank is doing quite well as well. But let's move on then. As part of our special series Inside Hyderabad, we'll be getting all the queries exclusively from Hyderabad. And joining us today on the show, we have Ashish Chakia of Waves Strategy, as well as Mayuresh Joshi of Angel Broking to answer all your stock queries. Thanks so much, gentlemen, for joining in today. And we have a video query that's coming in from Suri Shetty Srinivas.
I have purchased 100 Motherson Sumi at the rate of 300. I can wait for 2 years. And what are the returns which I can expect with this?
All right, Mayuresh, let's come across to you first. How can you help him out?
Nigel, I think I didn't hear the stock properly. If you can repeat.
All right, I think he's got Motherson Sumi, 100 shares at around 300 rupees. He's been holding it for the past 2 years. He's wanting to know what's the right time to exit.
So clearly, Nigel, I think if you look at the underperformance that Motherson Sumi delivered, probably with the Volkswagen issue playing truant in terms of how the numbers might pan out. Yes, I think from a short to medium term perspective, I think the numbers which contribute around 40% to the overall sales, US markets contribute just a minuscule part. Clearly, I think that can have a telling effect in terms of how the volumes may pan out in terms of top line. But clearly, I think looking at utilization levels across its plant, looking at its order book specifically from Motherson, Reflectech and Samvardhan as well, 12.5 billion euros is what we're probably looking at, which gives it a good revenue visibility as well. And the management is focused over the next few years to get revenue around the $18 billion kind of a mark, ROCs to that 40% kind of a range. So clearly our fair value estimates looking at everything that's going around in the stock is close to 313 rupees. So I'll take it with an FY17 perspective. We are close to that target price. So I think he really needs to take a call in terms of fair valuations, but it's just around 13-14 rupees from the current market price.
All right then, so that's a call coming in on Motherson Sumi. What's your take, Ashish?
See, from technical perspective, if you look at this stock, it formed some kind of a basing around 220 to 250 zone, and from there we are seeing some kind of a pullback on upside. So I'm not too optimistic about it, but yes, over short term we can expect the levels of somewhere around 350 or 400. That's a decent rise that we can expect from here, but I'll not be very much optimistic given the sharp fall which we witnessed about a couple of months before. So one can hold the stock, but use a stop loss of somewhere around 240, and if the stock manages to break above 330 levels, then further upside can be seen. So he can keep trailing the stop loss so that he ultimately gets out at a profit when it reaches somewhere around 380 levels.
All right then, by the way, just pull up the Bank Nifty. Now it's hit a triple century as we speak, so the Bank Nifty comes up for you, and we know that the PSU banking stocks are doing quite well. Our Ticker team is telling us that, but just pull up ICICI Bank, you'll see that that one as well has spiked up in the last few minutes. So ICICI Bank as well should be up for you on the screen. I think that's one of the biggest weightage, and that stock in fact has moved higher, and it's taken the Bank Nifty with it. Bank of Baroda, we had PNB as well as SBI. They were always doing well, but I think Yes Bank as well has participated, and now the Bank Nifty is up a good 300 points. But let's get back to answering your queries. We have Srijit R, who writes to us from Hyderabad. He has 800 shares in Interglobe Aviation at a price of around 801. He would like to know whether or not he should hold it or he should sell it. Ashish, this time let's start off with you. What's your take? I mean, what returns he's made? Close to around 2.3 lakhs. Are the charts looking good?
See, there is, I suppose this was launched just a few weeks back, and there is not much of data, to be honest, in order to determine from the charts perspective. But looking at the entire aviation sector as a whole, if you look at Jet Airways or SpiceJet and the other aviation stocks, they have performed very good from the lower levels, and we have seen some good run up on the upside. So looking like the overall sector is poised on the positive side, and so he can hold the stock for sure. And I would suggest that keep a stop loss, trailing stop loss of 5% from the the current price so that he keeps trailing it and ride the trend as long as it continues from here.
All right then, so that's the call that's coming in on Indigo. But Mayuresh, I'll have to get your word as well coming in over here. It's been an absolute dream run for those who got in this particular issue. What's your take? Can it go further from here, or do you expect the other aviation stocks to do much better and comparatively catch up on that valuation front?
So generally, I think, Nigel, with falling crude and ATF prices, it should benefit all the aviation stocks because it forms almost 40-45% of their raw material cost. So clearly, I think ATF prices fall has benefited their EBITDA margins, with load factors expected to go up with the holiday season around, with Diwali, with Christmas. I think Q3 numbers will definitely look good for a lot of the aviation stocks. Now, I think Spice Jet and Jet Airways probably have got some balance sheet issues in terms of debt, in terms of the negative net worth. Indigo Global, I think, or Interglobe Aviation does not probably have all those issues. Profitable airline, again clearly having a decent market share of more than 35%, which is quite good. And again, I think the kind of A320s that it is probably acquiring, I think the fuel cost efficiency will probably even go up over the next few years. So I think our expectation is the earnings should sustain. And the only issue with the stock is the float is simply not existent at this point of time. So clearly hold on to the stock, I think, with ATF prices remaining low. The margin should sustain, and again I think the profitability for Interglobe Aviation should continue for the next 2 to 3 quarters, to say the least.
All right then, so that's the word that's coming in there on Interglobe Aviation. Dream stock, big returns for all those lucky investors. But let's get to our next query. We have Vasudeva Reddy, who calls us from Hyderabad. He has investments in Dr. Reddy's. Hi Mr. Reddy.
Hello.
Hi Mr. Reddy, how can we help you?
Yeah, 3 days back I purchased Dr. Reddy's around 3,423.
All right, so it's not been too good for you, but Mr. Reddy, I'm hoping that in fact you're a long-term investor in case there's a chance of a bit of a bounce back. Are you a long-term investor?
Is there any chance to, how many months I can hold this one?
All right, but can you hold it for a longer term? Can you hold it for a year, more than 1 year? Are you fine with that?
Yeah, I'm fine, but I'm asking, is there any hopes like around 1 to 3 months?
Okay, so Mr. Reddy, will get you both the views. One is a technical view, that's how exactly the stock is moving, and also we'll tell you fundamentally whether or not the stock has bottomed out at around this 3,100 level. Mayuresh, what's your take? 3,100, I remember just around a month ago it was at around 4,200 plus. Do you believe that if he's holding it for the longer term time horizon, then in fact he should hang on?
Yes, Nigel, he should, and clearly I think with the US letter that has probably come through, I think the contents of the letter were more or less largely known, but I think the language was something that has worried the street a lot more. So I think if the entire letter substantiates into an import ban specifically for its 3 units, including Srikakulam, we've already factored that, and a lot of analysts would have, with a 10-12% hit in terms of top line coming through on that front. The EPS estimates have actually got trimmed down. Having said that, I think we still believe that Dr. Reddy's is a very qualitative company in terms of PSAI growth. We're still expecting decent double-digit growth to take place on that front. The generic growth should be quite decent as well. It's got a very strong pipeline of 78 odd applications, out of which 50 are para 4s. You're seeing 18 odd applications which are also of paramount importance. So I think the kind of drug launches that probably come through is going to help Dr. Reddy's in good stead. The R&D expense of around 11 to 12% that is incurring, and the new launches that are expected to come through the next few quarters should come through. So I think the entire street is worried if the import ban comes through, you might see further correction on the stock. But in my opinion, if that does happen, I think the investor can actually average out the stock. Our take is that second half of FY17, I think the earnings should start appearing even far better than what the company has been posting so far. So clearly hold with a target of 3933 over the next 12 to 15 months.
All right, and Ashish, how's it looking on the charts? Not too good? Is it breaking down, or is it likely to form some support over there?
The next support level for this stock is coming directly around 2,850, so that is going to be a crucial. So I would suggest that the investor can use that as a very important stop loss. The reason being, I'm not too optimistic about pharma. It has shown a very sharp fall from the level of 4,300, which shows that its price and time reversal both has happened, and we can see that in November month pharma was one of the major losers. So I'm not too optimistic about pharma over short run, maybe 3 months months time. If he wants to know the view, I'm not too optimistic, but yes, over long term, then some kind of trending move on the upside can still emerge as long as 2850 is intact on Dr. Reddy. So hold it with a stop of 2850, and over short term he should not be getting worried about the sideways action which we might see after sharp fall. We should see some sideways consolidation, and then only an uptrend can start in the stock.
All right, then. By the way, just pull up JMR Infra. That's been one of the big outperformers for this month itself. Just pull up JMR Infra for this week itself. It's higher by close to around 12%. Suddenly, that stock has moved to the low point of the day. I think it's come off close to around 4.5 to around 5%. Watch that stock. Just around a month ago, it was trading at around that 11 to 12 rupee mark. But time to slip into a short break. But before we do that, CNBC TV 18 is hosting its annual Investor Summit on November 30th. The biggest and the brightest policymakers and market experts will grace the show. Minister of State Finance Jayant Sinha, Mark Mobius, Rhythm Desai, Bharat Iyer, Gautam Chalcharya, Rakesh Arora, Sunil Singhania, S. Narain, Samir Arora, Nilesh Shah of Envision, Ramesh Samani, Durgesh Shah. And here's a chance for you to answer a simple question every day and in fact win an invite to the biggest investor gathering in Mumbai. The question we are asking at this hour is, Baba Ramdev's company, that's Patanjali, recently joined hands with which listed retail company? Their options are flashing for you on the screen. Future Consumer, we have Shopper Stop as well as Trend. Now quickly SMS your answers. Type IS space 16A, 16B or 16C to 51818 and win your exclusive invite. Welcome back then. The Nifty is hit a half century as we speak. It's higher by close to around 50 points. The Bank Nifty is screaming away. That's higher by close to around 320 points as we speak. And a lot of banking stocks we were spotting before we went into the break. Just pull up Kotak Mahindra Bank. You'll see that that one wants to be part of this banking party. That one as well has spiked to the high point of the day. Just pull up that stock. You'll see suddenly that one's partaking in the party. While on the flip side, we have a couple of stocks that are looking a tad bit nervous. We have Colgate. Suddenly that stock has seen a bit of a dip in the last few minutes. Petronet LNG as well was a big outperformer for the last series. That one has come in for profit booking. In fact, it's moving towards the low point of the day. We have a couple of winners though. Castrol is moving very, very well. That stock has spiked up in the last 10 to around 15 minutes. And JSW Energy as well is has spiked up in the last few minutes. So pull up JSW Energy. That one has been a bit of a mover in the last few minutes. But let's get back to answering your queries. We have Ashish as well as Mayuresh with us. Our next caller is Harshvardhan, who calls us from Hyderabad. He has a stock query. Hi sir, good afternoon. How can we help you?
Hi, I would like to invest in ICICI Bank. I can hold for 5 to 6 months. I want to know what is the view on that, the current situation.
All right, Harshvardhan, just a quick advice. Is it possible for you to extend your time horizon? Because it's always better to hold some of these blue chip banks as well as blue chip stocks for a longer time horizon. So is it possible if you could extend it for around a year and a half to 2 years at least?
Yeah, I don't mind. So
you don't mind long term?
I'll definitely hold 5-6 months. That's for sure.
Okay, sounds good. Ashish, we're seeing a bit of a breakout today on the Bank Nifty. It's higher by close to around 310 points, been the big outperformer today. ICICI Bank, that one needs to put its hand up if the Nifty or the Bank Nifty needs to move higher. How's it looking on the charts?
See, overall we can see some kind of a strong move today in the banking space after a long time, after consolidation over past maybe around 2 weeks. Today is for the first time we are seeing some break on the upside. Sustainability above the levels are going to be crucial because Bank Nifty has failed to sustain above crucial levels which is somewhere around 17,400. So 17 crossing and sustaining above 17,400 for next 2 or 3 days is going to be very important. So and looking at ICICI Bank, there is some kind of a base formation, I would say. So definitely some amount of buying can be done, but not just from 5 or 6 months it can be little tricky. The time horizon should be extended towards at least a year's time, given the fact that ICICI Bank was falling from somewhere around 320 levels, 340 levels, and it has come down to the 260 levels. So the trend has been on the negative side. Today we are seeing some bullish activity, so he can buy and hold the stock. At the same time, use a very important stop loss of 240 because if 240 breaks, then the downtrend will resume again. From long-term perspective, definitely buying in staggered fashion is always advisable. So buy some 25% now, and maybe after 3 months time, start increasing the position. So the strategy should be, in a nutshell, if you want to buy from 3 months horizon, use 240 as a stop loss. If you want to buy from long-term perspective, buy in a staggered fashion.
All right, Mayuresh, what's your take? How is it looking fundamentally?
So Nigel, I think we do like the private space and ICICI Bank as well in that space itself. So clearly, if you look at the numbers were encouraging. The advances growth, specifically the retail advances growth at 25%, was extremely encouraging. If you look at the asset quality, the GNPS came at 3.65, the net NPS at 1.65. So clearly, I think the management is very clear on that front, that the asset quality plus the restructured assets, it would not exceed the figures that were put out in FY15. So FY16 should be much better on that aspect. If you look at the branch network, 4,050 odd branches, if you're looking at capital adequacy in terms of tier 1, it trades at 12.6%. And clearly, I think if you look at the NIMs, the management itself expects NIMs to be maintained between that 3.4-3.5% kind of mark. So clearly, if you value these subsidiaries and you adjust around 58 rupees, it is trading at a price to adjusted book of 1.5 times, which you feel is very attractive. So on this level or every decline, the investor can slowly and steadily accumulate the stock. We've laid out a target price of 348 over the next 12 months.
All right, then time to slip into a short break. But when you come back, we'll continue focusing on a lot of your stock queries. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Then, as we speak, the Nifty has moved to the high point of the day, sitting with a gain of around 55 points. So that's good news. Currently, the Bank Nifty as well. Of close to around 330 points at this point of time. So the mid caps as well, a relative underperformer in today's trading session. But as we speak, in fact, the mid cap index as well is holding on to mine gains at this point of time. But let's get to our next query then. We have Mr. Venkatraman, who calls us from Hyderabad. He has a stock query. Hi sir, good afternoon. How can we help you?
Yeah, good afternoon. Yeah, I have some doubt regarding this Andhra Cement.
Okay.
Whether I have to purchase or not.
Okay. All right. I think it's one of those penny stocks. Let's try to help you out with this one. But sir, would you like to purchase any cement company?
No, especially I'm looking after this Andhra Cement only.
Okay. All right. So you want
the cement is some. I have some suggestions from my stockbroker. He's saying that he does not have any recommendations.
Okay. Mayuresh, let's come across to you. Andhra Cement, I'm just looking at it. It's only around a 6 rupee 50 paise stock. Do you have any view on it?
No, unfortunately, I think don't carry a view. But again, I think I can suggest a few others. I think JK Cement from the mid cap looks quite reasonable to us.
All right, then thanks so much, Mayuresh. Thanks, Ashish, for joining in today and giving us all your views on a whole host of stocks. The Nifty is doing quite well. First day of the series, 55 points higher. The Bank Nifty higher by close to 330 points, so that's looking quite good as well. And the mid caps managing to hold in the green. But that's all the time we have on the show. Do remember to keep sending us your queries by posting it on a Money Control message board. Stay tuned. Closing bell will take all the action forward.